Hey, this is Max, and welcome to my first Mechwarrior 5 video. I picked this game up a little bit before Christmas as a Christmas present to myself, and I am just checking it out now with the missions. This game is made by the same developers who made Mechwarrior Online, that's been around a few years, but a single-player Mechwarrior game of this sort hasn't been around in a while, so this is a long time in coming. The last series of Mechwarrior games like this were made probably close to 20 years ago. So technology is a lot different, the computer power is a lot different, but the premise of the game is still the same. You're piloting large robots, you go on missions, and you basically destroy things with it and try to survive at the same time. In the last few years, the only mech type game I've been playing was an app game called War Robots, and that has gotten me used to this third person kind of view, so I'm using it here on my first mission. There is a first person view inside the cockpit. The problem with that is, of course, the game gives me motion sickness, so it's very difficult for me to play it in that view. Even in third person, it's a little bit tough for me to not get motion sickness. I'll play with the graphic settings some more to see if I can set it up in a way where I can avoid getting problems. Now, engagements with these kind of games, with mech games in general, is you're piloting something that's rather large and ponderous, so using cover and not rushing in are skills that you need to learn to survive. Especially with single player game, you're probably not just facing one enemy, you're going to be facing wave after waves of enemy, and as you can already see, my armor's already turning yellow to the left there on the left bottom. So if I rush in and let these guys peg me over and over, before the end of the campaign mission, I'm going to be dead, or I'm going to lose a lot of parts. One of the things about this game is you end up, whenever the mission finishes, you get paid, and then you have a certain amount of salvage based on what you destroy, but all that payment can be offset by the damage your mech's taken. So keeping your mech's durability and armor up is very important. One of the things is also that as you get into range, your radar start picking up enemies like this. So you don't want to get into range too quick. You want to leverage your long distance weapons. Oops, I fired that without lock on. That's no good. See, I'm already getting hit. I can see the hit mark. So there's a chopper up there. Let's get rid of him. I'm going to get back under cover a little more. There goes that guy. Let's go back, work the tanks. They're getting closer. Auto cannon range. Now these guys may just be a tank or something simple looking, but they could do a lot of damage to you if you let them. So again, you know, got to keep an eye on the enemies and kind of not rush in too fast and too hard. So here it looks like things are clear, and I'm going to slowly move towards the objective. So with all mech games, like I was saying, because you're not moving that quick, everything has to be kind of methodical. You're planning ahead for each move. Aiming also takes a little practice to get the hang of. I'm using a mouse keyboard setup, which I'm pretty used to, but I think some people prefer using a joystick for better movement control. Mouse keyboard movement can be a little choppy, and sometimes you forget your torso's turn and you don't set it back to the other direction quick enough. Okay, so clear those waves. I've taken minimal damage so far, so that's good. I am sure what the toughest encounters, whatever it may be, is going to come at the very end. So you want to slowly but surely advance, but without, hopefully without getting yourself caught in major traps. So again, the mech is a little bit slow and ponderous. This is not a fast-paced first-person shooter type game. If you're used to those kind of games, you may not like this as much, but I kind of like the feel of this kind of game because it gives you the feel like you're piloting something that's large and powerful at the same time. it's a little ponderous. But the aiming mechanism's not terrible here. Ooh, this thing is not going down with one hit, so this is a gunship. Boy, I'm getting hammered. Oof. Okay, so this one's taking multiple hits to take down. There he goes. So that's like a mini boss type thing. Looking at my armor status, so far so good. No pure loss of all armor yet, but left leg is taking quite a heavy chunk of armor off. That right arm of mine is where one of my weapons armed at, so I don't want to lose that arm. Left arm, not so much a big deal. I could use it like a shield. If anything, I want the left arm to take more of the damage than the right arm because I don't want to lose my autocannon. So yeah, so that's another thing to keep in mind. Which side of your mech you want to get more damage on. Oh man, right arm is already red. That's bad. So you want to make sure you don't lose your weapons. That's going to be a big problem if you're going down later. Oh, there's a guy behind me here. Block him, missile him. Laser, autocannon, done. Alright, so there's a base ahead I'm supposed to destroy now, but again, it's going to be defended, and I don't necessarily want to be in range that quick. I'm going to use long-range missiles to kind of wear them down a little bit, and hopefully be able to destroy these guys. On the upper right, you can see the tank status. Oops, I think I lost the target there. You can see their status, so you can tell when you have them pretty much close to being destroyed, or you do actually destroy them. So I'm going to move up, but I'm going to try to stay near cover. That metal, the middle mountain rock piece there would be good cover. So I'm going to kind of let them come around, and then I can hammer them where I peek out and shoot them and then jump back. Those are all simple techniques. And same tricks I learned in War Robot. Basically, don't stick your neck out unless you have to. In the meantime, I could start destroying the base. Oh, here comes another chopper. Those missiles, because they home in, is really good for taking down these choppers. Now, autocannon has a little bit of a travel delay, so when you use the autocannon, you really have to aim it a little bit ahead. Not too much, but slightly. Here comes that tank. Shoot him. Just trying to focus here. I could zoom in my guns. I'm just learning how to shoot here and getting the feel of aiming, so I'm not using the zoom yet. I'm just going to see if I can get the hang of it without. There we go. Alright, so I got to destroy the base now. This is going to take a while because these bases, you got to shoot down individual buildings. So I'm going to go ahead and skip this part and then get back after I take the base down. Alright, here we are at the end here, taking down the base. Base destroyed. So now I have to get to the extract point. Naturally, it's not going to be anywhere near me, so I got to run 2,000 meters, so about a click out to get to the extraction point, and of course more enemies are coming, so I got to deal with them first. Okay, let's get this guy. You don't want guys behind you. Your rear armor is a lot weaker than the front, so leaving these choppers hanging out in the back is a really bad idea for the long term. Alright, now I'm even my right torso is looking kind of rough. Everything on the right side is important because that's where my main weapon is. So I don't want to lose any of that. The good news is I'm still, they're still shooting down my armor. They haven't gotten into the internal structure. So I'm not going to lose any weapons yet, but I am sure there's going to be more encounters before I can get to the dropship. So here's the first person view again. As you can see, it's very different. It is a little bit easier to see the enemy in this view. The downside is, of course, in this view, sometimes it's a little harder to get the feel for how close you are to rocks and other obstructions as you're doing movement. So this third person view, one is, again, it doesn't make me as sick, and two, it gives you a wider view of your positioning, but it does make shooting a little bit harder. So it's a trade-off. You can actually switch between the two views in a heated firefight, depending on what your needs are. But I'm kind of scanning to make sure I don't get somebody to jump into my backside here without me knowing. Alright, we got a mech coming to us, but of course, not without some additional support enemies too. Let's get them out of here. One down. What else we got? Oh, got enemies in front. See if I can tanks damage, but not down. Gotta take them out. Remember, your weapons all have a cooldown, so it does. Ooh, I'm getting hit in the back. Let's try to get rid of this guy. Alright, he's gone. Oh, there's that mech. Okay, so we gotta take him out, but notice there's also a support tank. So you have to be careful here. You don't want to leave that tank alone for too long, but you don't want this mech shooting you in the back either. So I'm going to do the circle of death, as they call it, with this mech. But in the meantime, I'm going to cut him off by turning this way. And again, I'm getting hit by that tank. I'm not ignoring him. I just need to get him when he's out in the open. Right, like now. Let's get rid of him. Good. Now it's one-on-one. I have a heavier tonnage mech, but look at my armor. I'm looking kind of rough here. So this guy already took his leg down pretty good. So I'm going to focus on the leg. Usually weaker armor's on the leg, so it's easier to take him out. And hopefully if I destroy a leg, he'll slow down so I can hit him better with the other side. Okay, yeah, he's still... Man, this guy's fast. Okay. Yeah, he's wrecking me pretty good here. Come on. Caught him. Get him on the other leg now. Reload, yes. All things considered, I came out of that relatively good. The internal structure on the right torso is a little bit damaged. And my armor is otherwise in rough shape, even got hit in the head. But didn't lose any weapons, so I will take that, because usually armor repairs and even internal structure repairs not nearly as bad as if you had to replace an entire part. As you can see, I just started. This is one of the first missions. I think this is a second or third mission. Okay, so I have 2 points of salvage I can get. I negotiated for some pay, so I got 528,000 payout, but remember, I'm going to be paying for fixing my mech, so I'm going to lose a little bit of money there. And then the question is, what do you want to salvage? If you want to salvage a PPC, that'll use up both points, or I can salvage 2 pieces of some of these other stuff. In this case, having the PPC is probably something I want to get. It'll be nice to get that autocannon, but again, I can't do it without giving up the PPC, which is also a valuable weapon. Now, the truth is, PPC generates so much heat that I may not actually end up using it on a mech, but it does have very good range, and it hits pretty hard. So it's a trade-off, but I'll take the PPC for this particular one as salvage. Let's take a look at my damage here. 73,000 in damage. That's actually not that bad, but that's going to cut into your overall money income from the mission. Claim that, and we're off. Going to talk to our mech tech here. He'll probably just complain a bit about how much damage you took, and then move on to the next mission. So that is essentially a Mechwarrior 5 mission, a quick overview. I'm going to continue to play this game. I love Mechwarrior 5. As long as I can figure out this motion sickness issue, I should be able to enjoy this game quite a bit. But there will be more coming in the future. I'm going to go ahead and save the game here, and then move on and check out the next mission. Hey, let me know what you think of this game, if you're interested in seeing more videos or not. And thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.